Hello everyone, welcome to today's vlog. Today I'll be outlining the security procedures to address network security risks within an organization. The first security procedure will be outlining the purpose. The purpose of this security policy is to implement and establish as well as maintain continuous improved security managed information systems to help forces in tech with the protection of its assets, to stop unauthorized access and disruption, such as destruction to the system within the company and its clients. The second outline procedure will be the scope. All of the information systems, as well as applications, networks, in addition to the cloud services and the data which is owned, such as managed by forces in tech, will be followed in this policy. All the client environments which Season Tech provides will be securely protected through this mandatory policy. All of the employees and authorized users, such as contractors and vendors and third parties, must follow this mandatory policy. The third security policy that will be outlined will be the information security objectives. Confidentiality and integrity as well as availability to inform confidentiality and integrity as well as availability to information within all assets will be maintained with a security policy. Client data will be protected accordingly within contractual, legal, and regulatory requirements. Reduction of information security risks within an accepted level of management to ensure accountability within effective monitoring as well as logging and auditing of systems such as activities. Governance and responsibilities outline security procedure that will be outlined. Today I'll be outlining the governance and responsibilities security procedure. 4.1 Executive management will approve the policy as well as define the organization's tolerance to allocate sufficient resources which support information security objectives such as IMS operations. 4.2 Information security officer will maintain the IMS and overall information security policy frameworks, to conduct and document security risk assessments, to coordinate and manage security incidents such as ensuring timed reports. 4.3 IT and network operations will implement as well as maintain security controls to ensure systems are adhered to the approved configuration in addition to the hardening of standards, to remediate vulnerabilities within the specific time frame. 4.1 Employees and contractors will comply with all of the information security policies in addition to the procedures, to protect credentials and authentication methods from unauthorized use, and report as well suspicious or confirmed security incidents immediately. Risk management will be I will now outline the security procedure for the risk management. Information security risks will be identified as well as assessed and reviewed at least on a regular basis. Risks will be evaluated based on potential impact as well as likelihoods. Risk mitigation plans will be documented as well as approved in addition to being monitored. Residual risks will be formally accepted through the executive management team. Asset management. Now I will outline the asset management security procedure. All asset information should be inventoried as well as classified based on the sensitivity, such as critically. Ownership of assets will be assigned as well as documented. All of the assets will be handled securely throughout their life cycle from acquisition to disposal. Storage and media devices to be sanitized as well as destroyed and retired. Now moving on to outlining the security procedure for access control. Identity and access management. Access control rights to be granted based on least privileges. Role-based access controls to be put in place. User access rights to be reviewed at least on a daily basis. Authentication methods to be implemented. Strong authentication methods will be used for all systems. Multi-factor authentication (MFA) will be a requirement for privileged, such as remote access, accounts that are prohibited unless they formally get approved and monitored. 7.3 Privileged access. Privileged access will be banned and logged as well as monitored. Administration accounts will only be used for authorized tasks. Number 8. Now moving on to the outlining the network security procedure. Networks will be segregated for the protection of critical systems to reduce surface attacks. Firewalls will be put in place within network boundaries, such as being configured accordingly to approved standards. Intrusion detection systems and prevention controls will be put in place where appropriate. Remote access will use communication through encrypted channels. Now moving on to the endpoint and server security procedure. Approved endpoint protection will be put in place on all of the devices. Systems will get patched to the defined schedule. Hardening configuration standards will be implemented through all of the servers and endpoints. Unauthorized software installation will be banned. Okay. Now moving on to the 10th security procedure. Application and cloud security. Secure configuration baselines will be implemented to all cloud environments. Data will be encrypted within rest and in transit. Access to applications will be controlled via IMA policies. Third-party applications will undergo security risk assessments prior to use. Now moving on to the 11th security procedure. Data protection and privacy. Outlined security procedure. Data will be classified and handled accordingly to its sensitivity. Confidential data will be encrypted and will have restricted access. Sorry, we did this again. 11. Data protection and privacy outline security procedure. Data will be classified and handled according to its sensitivity. Confidential data will be encrypted and will have restricted access. Client data will potentially be separated as well as protected from unauthorized access. Privacy requirements will be followed at all times. Moving on to 12th security procedure. Email and communication security. Now I'm outlining the security procedure for email and communication security. Email systems will include anti-malware, anti-spam, such as anti-phishing controls. Users will receive training on social engineering and on based communication threats. Sensitive information will not be transmitted via unsecured channels. I'm moving on to the 13th procedure. Physical security procedure. Physical access to facilities will be controlled as well as restricted to authorized personnel. Critical equipment will be protected away from physical and environmental threats. Visitors will be logged as well as being identified and escorted as requested. Now moving on to the 14th security procedure. Logging and monitoring and auditing. Security events which are relevant should be logged across all systems and applications. Logs will be protected from gaining unauthorized access and modifications will be restricted. Systems will be monitored for any suspicious or irregular activity. Log retention will be compliant within legal, regulatory, as well as contractual requirements. Moving on to the 15th security procedure. Incident response. A documented incident response plan, IRP, will be retained. Security incidents will be classified as well as investigated and will be resolved promptly. Evidence will be preserved accordingly within the best forensic practices. Clients will be notified on how incidents are in line with contractual obligations. Moving on to the 16th security procedure. Business and continuity and disaster recovery procedure. Business continuity such as disaster recovery plans will be developed as well as retained. Backups will be performed regularly as well as tested for recoverability. Recovery time objectives, RTO, in addition to recovery point, RPO, will be defined along with approval. Now moving on to the 17th security policy. Third party and vendor security procedure. Vendors will undergo security checks due to diligence prior to the engagement. Third party access control will be controlled in addition to being monitored. Contracts will include appropriate information security requirements. Moving on to the 18th security procedure. Security awareness and training. Security awareness and training is compulsory for all personnel. Training will be conducted during onboarding in addition to annually thereafter. Role-specific training will be provided where necessary. Moving on to the 19th procedure. Compliance and legal requirements. Applicable laws such as regulations along with contractual obligations will be identified in addition to compliance. Compliance requirements will be documented as well as being reviewed on a regular basis. Violations to this policy will result in the correct action to be taken. Now moving on to the 20th security procedure. Policy enforcement and exceptions security procedure. Not complying with this policy will result in a disciplinary, even a contractual consequence. Exceptions will be documented such as risk assessed in addition to being formally approved. Approved exceptions will be reviewed on a daily basis. Now moving on to the 21st security procedure. Policy review and maintenance. This policy will be reviewed regularly. Updates will reflect changes in risk, technology, business, and operations in addition to the regulatory requirements. The information security officer is responsible for the coordination for the review along with ensuring revisions are approved by the executive management team. Thank you for watching the vlog.